Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Golden Opportunities Coaching YouTube channel. Welcome to those of you who are new. Welcome to those of you who are seasoned veterans of what we do around here. What we do around here is bring about conversations of a psychological, emotional, and mental health paradigm. We haven't been here in a while. That's because I'm planning for some form of move. Don't know what that looks like. So if I disappear for a while, I will return. But it's a matter of when and how. But I will be here for clients to the best of my ability during that process. If you are looking for a way to kind of make healthier emotional and mental decisions during the process of getting your life back on track post-pandemic and or getting yourself to a place that makes sense for you, certainly would love to help you do that during the process of the rest of 2021 and beyond. And a couple ways you can reach out. You can reach out through Twitter at PO Perception or through the About Me section of this YouTube page in order to connect and make that happen. So, in any event, this is the how to avoid killing your health. And a lot of people don't really worry about their health as much as they should. And I'm talking about mental, emotional, and spiritual and physical health. So it's an all-encompassing process. The first is holding on to expectation too much. At the end of the day, expectations lead to separation from progress in a lot of cases. When we expect something too deeply, when we expect something at a level that is unhealthy or at a level that doesn't serve us or at a level that's uncomfortable, or we live in a world where the only way we can be happy is if certain things happen, then through that process, we are actually setting ourselves up for inevitable failure. Inevitable failure is one of those things that we don't really want to deal with because at the end of the day, there's challenges related to that. How do we get to a healthy place? How do we get to a meaningful place? How do we enjoy life more? And the answer is we drop expectation and we go with the flow. Now, it doesn't mean we can't have goals, dreams, aspirations, and we should. And the more goal oriented we are in a progressive manner, the easier it is to get to a healthy place. But the reality of life is the more we expect something and the more narrow we keep our life process, the harder it is to get to a stabilized place in our own lives. The next thing is we limit our exercise, physical, mental, and emotional. So emotional exercise is about expressing emotions and processing them. Physical exercise, we all know, is about physical motion. So if you're limiting physical exercise, you're also going to lead to problems for yourself in a lot of ways. Mental exercise is learning new things, growing, and living within the expansion of the mind. When we don't exercise ourselves, we become stagnant. Stagnation leads to anxiety, depression, listlessness, lack of motivation, lack of goals being accomplished. So the next is social media addiction. Um, it'll kill your health. A lot of times the illusion of competition is built on the watching of what other people are doing. That doesn't mean that we can't look every once in a while and say, hey, this is what's going on, and this is the good, and this is the bad, and this is the ugly, and this is the hardship, and this is whatever. But when we become addicted to social media, when we become so focused on what social media is about that we actually make life more difficult for ourselves by default, it is necessary to begin to understand the value of kind of getting to a healthy place. And the time that we put into social media, we could be putting into real life relationships, actually having conversations by phone or in person and building support networks. I think a lot of the dependency on social media has come out of the fact that social skills in general have regressed, and the instantaneous expectation of society has become so pervasive that we don't want to wait, we're unwilling to wait, and a lot of times we don't think we should have to wait for things. And so ultimately that leads to the killing of health, because if something doesn't happen instantaneously, we assume the worst, and it actually changes how the brain works. The next thing is taking life too seriously. this is hard for lots of people because obviously, if something matters to you, you're going to take it seriously. You're going to treat it with the respect you believe it deserves. But at the same time, nothing is serious until you make it that way. Nothing is filled with levity until you make it that way. You choose what things mean to you, and so when we take things overly seriously, when we overestimate or overvalue something, we are creating our own pathway to disappointment in a lot of ways. It doesn't necessarily mean we should take nothing seriously. Obviously, take seriously the value of the people in your life and the experiences you have. But at the end of the day, is it going to matter in 5 minutes? Is it going to matter in 5 days? Is it going to matter in 5 months? Is it going to matter in 5 years? If it's not going to matter in a few months, then it's not that serious. And so ultimately, finding the balance between respecting people and treating them well and respecting situations and opportunities and taking full advantage of them, but not getting so serious that we actually shoot ourselves in the foot is an important aspect of how to kind of balance things out in a meaningful way. Um, so, so, um, that's kind of one of the things that's there. So hopefully that's helpful. The last, I think it's the last thing on my list here, or second to last, is bad sleeping habits. So obviously, negative sleeping habits is something that can be extremely difficult, and there are a lot of things that can go in a negative um, direction in that regard. And so when we don't sleep well, we're really making our mental, physical, and emotional health a sacrifice um, in a negative way. And so resting well is about giving our body a chance to regenerate, giving our mind a chance to decompress, giving our emotions a chance to kind of reset. And when we don't do that, it can become problematic for a number of reasons. Um, in any event, um, the last thing is living too much in regret. Obviously, rumination is a part of human experience. We all wish that we could change some things from time to time. Uh, but when we stay too much in the past or too much in the future and we leave the present moment, we are setting ourselves up for negativity. We are setting ourselves up for struggles, and ultimately that is a major issue, both in the long and short term of things. So finding a way to understand how to balance our own view of ourselves and to understand that the past is there to teach us lessons and we are allowed to grow through it, but not stay so much there that it hinders our future is a really important balance point. Anyway, hopefully this is helpful. I encourage you to keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Till next time, everybody.